And it's Gordo here from Gordo's Games, and we're back today with some new content for you from Shadow of War Desolation of Mordor. It is one of the DLCs for the game, and it is one of the games I've been recently speedrunning and just recently managed to get the world record that I was looking for. That's right, everyone on Twitch, say hi to YouTube. So we will be going through a sort of guide here. Now, I'm by no means the most knowledgeable in this run, but I have done it a few times, so I just like to share any of the quick tips and pointers that for anyone who does want to take on this run, because I'll be honest, it is a shortish run and you get it down to a good point, and it's an interesting run. There is elements of RNG involved with it, but there are points where your capacity to do the fights in a good way really comes into it, and you're utilising everything you've got. So first things first, let's go down to it here. So Desolation of Mordor, this is a one and done kind of run. There is no second chances. Because Baranor does not have a ring, if he dies in the run, your run is technically finished there. From the terms of a speed run, you can press start run and then it will throw you back in from where your missions were completed. But effectively, for the run, it's just kind of done at that point. So just think of it: if you die, that's it. That's it. It's just a hard reset. So we'll go ahead and delete this. Now, some of the intro part is there's not a lot to keep to do at that point here, so I will just blase through the first bit, and then I'll talk to you as we get to the part where it's going to help you try and progress the run as effectively as possible. For those who have played Shadow of War, the thing to keep in mind with this is it's very different to playing as Talion, or if you play the Galadriel DLC as well, because they are both using the rings and that as they go along. So we'll just go ahead and skip there. Fundamental when it comes to speedrunning: don't watch cutscenes, it counts against your time. We are going to be a bit more blasé about slowing down in places to talk through the areas that we need to go to. Alright, so this part here, just run, get to this cutscene. This has to happen, and when you do it, you just skip the next cutscene and go into the bulk of the game from there. So we'll hit skip. Now, when you're doing these traversals, because we use a grappling hook to it, so think if anybody's ever played Just Cause, just think that kind of mentality. You get a grappling hook and you also get a parachute. We want to try and minimise the amount of times we're using this grappling hook. So you can see here, there is 3 layers we can get to. We can't quite get to the top, I don't believe anyway. If we move around, nope. So we can only get to the 3rd layer. So what we want to do is make sure we hit that 3rd layer, go straight up, look upwards, and then do it again to get to the 4th one. And when we're doing any kind of traversals, we want to make sure we're minimizing the use of that grappling hook, because the animation in that takes too much time overall, and we just don't want to waste time going one by one. Same again, wherever you can, use the grappling hook, even at further distances. It might not be just going upwards, it might just be a case you can climb it and get there. But you want to just be using it to pull you along and minimize the amount of time that you're spent running, because it is faster using the grappling hook. It's just not faster when you're doing short distances with the grappling hook. You want to be making sure you're maximizing the distance you're using it for. We'll get to a little part here. This is annoying. I'd rather have this in like the middle of the game, because it'd be great for a little short break if you want to have a drink or anything. But unfortunately, it's early, so hydrate and go from there. They'll have a little chit chat. He'll give me a parachute, and we'll be on our way.
I've got just the thing to get you to where they are. Just don't tell them where I am.
So it explains some of the parts that will be coming up in this run. There will be elements of RNG. Now, what those elements of RNG are going to be for is going to be whether there's certain corpses at certain places that will drop you immediately legendary items. Those legendary items can drastically change your run, because you can get ones that are extremely good. You can get ones that are not so good, but at that point you are still getting gold as well, which allows you to kind of higher in masteries and that, which I'll show you once we get to that screen shortly. But what we're going to do down here, just further down to the far right, there's a potential chance for a corpse to be there, which will give us a legendary. Now, I'll be honest, if you get a Thorned Hilt, you are laughing. It gives you 300% stealth attack damage and halves your health, but to that point, who cares about halving your health if you're not going to get hit? If you're going to be dying in one. So, did we get one? Nope, sadly we did not. So typically corpses want to be around this area here. You'll see it. You can usually check for before dropping down, but for the purpose of this, I'm just going to generally show you the area we're looking at. Oh. Okay. Okay, we're cooking. And then we want to carry on down here because we've checked down there and we just want to continue with the mission at this point. So we'll just go here, use this thing to get a bit more air, because one of the ways to minimize just a bit of time loss is just by just flying through here instead of doing the drop down into it. So if you can make it the right angle, there we go. Hit skip, and then this talks you through the mercenaries. So this is obviously similar to like the garrison you get from Talion's one and Galadriel's one. But in this one we're hiring mercenaries instead of hiring orcs, because we can't, well, dominating orcs if you go by the original. When we're selecting the bodyguards, obviously we only have a limited amount of money for the time being. Typically, the best ones you want to go for are archers, because archers have the shortest animation time on kills, followed by infantry. Shields are not the quickest by any chance. So in this one here, we are going to go with this guy, just because he's got a cool fire sword. And he will then be made into a bodyguard, which means we can summon him into the fight to actually help us through it. And also he can kill captains for us and speed things along. Now, with the stuff that we're using this and the things we got from the dwarf, there are going to be little pickups we get that can unlock upgrades. One of them is just here behind the plates we went into. So you pick these up and then you can take these to the dwarf later, which I cannot remember the name for, but we'll take them later. Now we won't do it at this point because it would just be waste time, because we're going to pick up a few more before then. So I'll show you the proper way first of all. So when you're looking to go through your actual lineup here, the splits, I will leave a link in the description down below, but you want to be going onto here and selecting the one you want to go to. So we're going to be going to this one first, and this one. So we're going to do this one, the raid first, which is down this way. I'm quite aware of the map, so time save that we can use instead of actually selecting it, as long as you know where you're going, is by fast traveling to the point, and it's this mission that's the closest to you. So we're going to fast travel there. That will come through time for yourself. Once you have the splits, just go ahead and highlight the quest just to make it easy for yourself to begin with. And then we want to try and get this grapple on here, because as I showed you a second ago, we have another upgrade now. It can be a bit fiddly trying to get the grapple onto this little dragon thing, so just be wary with it. It's just the movement is probably the biggest enemy in this run. The amount of time spent where I'm like, okay, can you just not climb a wall randomly, please? No, just no. Or you want to grapple hook to go somewhere and it's like, no, computer says no. It's like, okay, cheers mate, cheers, much appreciated. So we're going into the raid mission now. So this is one of the earlier missions. There is a bit of RNG coming up shortly, but all we're effectively going to do here is clear everything out. Everything as we go along here. So the steel bolt, or what typically would be a bow in every other thing, it's like this one. It's just like a crossbow, like an automated crossbow. Is going to be your best friend throughout this, because it gives you concussive grenades. Okay, memes. Concussive grenades, as well as steel bolts, and then you get the elements on them as well, like poison and fire. Going from Xbox 33 memes to memes, this memes and back. Yes, absolutely, 100% with this one. So you know what? We're just going to show you now, to the sake of it. That is the concussive. Perfect. I'll be honest, that was probably cleaner than the one I did earlier when I did the run. So. Oh, that was annoying. Okay. Oh, and just be mindful, the game sometimes just likes to mess with you and have your concussive selected. I don't know why it likes to do that on occasions, because I swap back to my things clearly, but it's definitely something to remind yourself of, because if you waste the concussives, they are quite crucial when going through some of the camps and that, because it allows you to somewhat stun and days the things as they go along. So we'll take our time here. Out for Edgeland safe is the entire run for beginners. If you die, it's over it. So you will get a few like last stands. So think of it like if friendly mates play Call of Duty, you do your last stand, your last 10s before you are killed altogether. And then you basically it's just like a quick time event, QTE. Hit the input and then you stay alive. If you have bodyguards, they can save you. In my world record run, if you do, I'll leave the description in this video. You will see there that the run was saved by my bodyguard that was not there. So he is the MVP of that run. So for beginners, it can be quite daunting to look at this run and think, am I just going to die all the time? Once you get used to it and once you pick up some of these things, it's going to make it a lot easier for you overall, especially grabbing some of these legendaries early, because it gives you that additional strength and power to deal with some of these things. As I said, if you particularly get things like that Thornhill, or there's another one, it's time to less or something like that. Basically, it's a case of every augment or every gold you pick up it'll give you a damage percentage buff. How are we doing, Simon? Welcome in. So yeah, that's the press of that. So we didn't get the look there. So it basically should be down near where the bones are. And right here, we just have to like smash a load of grog things. Be wary. As soon as we smash a load of these, we then take a trip into graboids or tremors, and graboids come after us. And once we've done that, we leave the area. Not too bad, Simon. We are just doing a little YouTube tutorial video, folks, around Shadow of War. We did achieve the world record for it, so I'm passing on a bit of wisdom here. Now, once we've done that here, now typically I originally used to just turn around and try and run there. What I found is one of the quickest ways to do things is typically using these fast travel points and getting higher advantage, because if you can parachute there, you are taking less time. As I said, using the grapple hook is all good on that. But you ideally want to just get there without using as minimal as possible. So as here, this takes us just out up here. We were just down there to the right where the skull bones were. And then we're just going to hop down here.
I'll soon see how these outpost captains stack up against the meanest ethel war chiefs.
And then onto this one. Now, the bulk of this run is camps, which are defended by captains. As the camps progress, they get more captains that defend them. Your aim is to kill the captain and dominate the point as quick as possible. So you're playing a small bit of domination with this. I don't know what kind of noise he's making. He's an interesting fella. But again, we have corpse number 3 that we're aiming to get here. I'll show you where it is. If it's not there, then we are just having some bad luck. And, oh, there we go, some bad luck. But it should be just here. So what we do now is we need to fight this guy. We will call on our bodyguard to help out. And then we want to use all the tools around us to just try and help progress this fight. So I'm going to do that. But whilst we're doing this, and this is something you can pick up later, when you're a bit more, when you get more comfortable with it, we want to go and pick this up part way through the fight. You can pick this up prior if you feel more comfortable doing so. I'd probably recommend 2. But it's just save a bit of time, just go ahead and grab it there. So there we go. I will show you a trick as well with the grapple, and that's the grappling hook, which allows us just to kind of speed things up a lot for us in fights by abusing things like stealth kills. So we're just going to clear this out until that capture thing's, well, we'll just wait until the capture thing goes down. Once it's down, we can then capture it, and then we'll move on to the next point. Predominantly, the run is based around these kind of domination points, and it's not, to be fair, it's not that tedious. There you go, and then hit capture, and that one is now done. Anyway, not for me. I've got one later, just after summer. But that's typically the precedent of how the camp should work and how majority of your things should go. Obviously, once you start getting more than just the one, then it's just a case of making sure you're managing that fight as best you can, utilising bodyguards. It will be Great Yarmouth. I haven't had any booked about 5 years. Go on holiday, Simon. So I wasn't sure if this is quicker, but there are two ways you can do this. So you can either go across there and just run in, but I've typically been using the fast travel here. Again, minimizing the amount of time I'm running, because I can then just go down here, do all this, and then what we do here is before we go to any camps, another thing to keep in mind is we want to be hitting at least one of these as we go along at any point, because they will top up our arrows, our bolts, concussive grenades, meaning that we have the resources that we need to be able to do the camps. Because just generally meleeing them back to back to back is not always the best way. The enemies have very different invulnerabilities or things they're not weak to. Some will be fireproof, some will be poison proof, some are enraged. If you set them on fire, when they're enraged they deal more damage and just a lot more erratic. So we're going to head up here, and I'll just stop a second to talk about it. So yeah, so you'll get things like Vault Breaker. Vault Breaker means that when if you were trying to jump over them, it will stop you from jumping over them. You'll have Arrow Proof, which is generally annoying, means they won't take damage to arrows, but you can still use all the concussive grenades, like the fire grenades, poison grenades, and normal grenades near them, which will do a lot of the damage. Vigilance is stealth, which will, if you are trying to stealth attack, they will just kind of palm you off. And various other ones from there that you'll come across throughout the run. So there are things to keep in mind if you do, like if you do try to use a stealth attack on one and you get part of them, don't repeatedly just keep trying it, because it's not going to go anywhere. That will remain on them unless they've been dazed, and then I think it does get around it. So because they're dazed, they don't have the invulnerabilities there. I'm not 100% on that one, because sometimes that has still happened regardless. But for this camp here, we're opting to go up to the top first of all. Reason why we do this, and this is generally how I approach near enough every camp, is we try and take care of the ones furthest out the way first. And the reason for that is because we want to get on the point as soon as possible, and once we're on the point, we want to just make sure that we're trying to hold that position as best we can. Because if we once we've captured it, that just takes a lot of time out of it for us. So that's where we stand with that one. So there we go, that's Vault Breaker for you. Just in time to demonstrate that. Thank you, good sir. And that's what I say about the bolts and that are going to be your friend. They're just going to do so much just to try and help. Trust me, even I forget sometimes. You've also got shield charge here. I should have remembered that one. So there's a little charge which can help you just to kind of deal damage to a group of them. And you'll have your bodyguards here. The reason we use them so much is because they can just pick up some things for us. Now, as you can see here, we've just got a drop from a captain, and these are completely random. It is a legendary. 100% might on hit. Might fully resets after you take damage. So this is pretty good. The more might we have, the more we can just use executions and things like that, and it's just generally a good thing. We do have a move that we can use later on, which is called Cyclone. But yeah, so let's just go down here, see if we can take this. Alright. Annoyingly, when they go in the little huts, just try and avoid the fights in there, just because it's so confined. Like trying to use all your shield charge and trying to do your bolts, and that just gets a little bit encumbered, and yeah, it's just a bit annoying. So we're just trying to avoid those for now, and we will capture this point whilst he's out there. And look at that. One of the main reasons, again, we use bodyguards is because they will do part of the work for us. And I bet when as long as you're getting the good ones as you go along, like I said, archers first, then infantry, then they should do it in a good, quick fashion for you. If I was going to say which one looks more stylish, I say infantry has the most stylish, the most brutal. No, archers have the most stylish. Infantry have the most brutal finishers. Archers do the cool little slide through the legs and then shoot them. Infantry will throw a grenade in the gob and stamp on their face until they go boom. So here we go again. We are just getting our last upgrade, and this will be the last one we need to pick up. You will come across these as well. These are going to be legendary items from these, so we'll just pick this up, see what it is. 35 plus 35 focus on a ranged hit. That's okay. We'll take that. Focus isn't bad. Focus we use to slow down time when we're aiming, so that's fine. Now, once we got that, we want to go back up here for two reasons. One, because the next mission is going to be over here. Two, because we now can unlock some of the stuff to actually start using it. And some of the things we're going to be unlocking here, so let's just talk to our little friend here, is one's going to be Cyclone. Now, what Cyclone does is when your might is full, I'll just bring it up on the screen as well for you, once it's done all the flashy stuff. So when your might is full, press X and A together, or depending on what console, if you're on console or PC, whatever the required keys are, to sweep your gauntlets chain in a powerful arc, knocking down some enemies caught in its path. So if you are surrounded by a lot of enemies, you can use it just to sweep the floor and kind of just floor some of them and give you a chance to obviously finish them off, or at least alleviate some of the pressure on yourself. We also have on it is grapple, and then we've now upgraded to catapult. Now, once we press A during a grapple, we can launch ourselves further. So we're using the momentum. But inside joke, if anybody's watched my gaming on Split Fiction, but we use that momentum to try and launch ourselves over, and it allows us to kind of get into our parachute, and it also sets up stealth kills for us. And so I'll demonstrate that shortly. And we also have here the capacity for poison bolts and fire grenades, which are massive for us. So not only do we have because originally we had just 3 grenades and 3 shots. What we do is we're going to unlock this, and this. We will now have 5 on all the grenades. Later on we can get it for the steel bolts as well, but it just allows us more utility to actually close out these camps a lot quicker.
That'll tilt the odds in your favor.
Damn right it will. I agree with him, 100%. So like I said, we're going to go down here now. We got another element of RNG coming right up. So just on this big rock down here, we're just going to drop down. Now, did we get one? Survey says we're not very lucky this eve. So it'll be around here, just near this camp, and again, it will give you the chance for a legendary itself. But not today, folks. Not today. So we're just going to go ahead and take this little route down here, and we're going to take this just for a bit of an updraft to try and help us keep that momentum going and get us the way we want to get to quicker. And here's catapult. As you can see, it just speeds up the whole process of moving around, making traversal a lot better. I guess you would have called it movement tech. It can't be a movement tech. Now, we're at the point now where most of the RNG in that side of it has kind of fallen off from it. It is, well, sorry, not the RNG. There's still other parts to it, which we'll get to. But most of the game is pretty much set. Where everything I've gone through now pretty much resides throughout the rest of the game, and that's the entirety of its run. If you are going to obviously attempt it as well, I would highly recommend having a look at some of the runs that have already been done, just so you're comfortable with what they're doing and get an idea for yourself. Alright, so there's one. And you can see poison and fire already come into effect, very much so. So we're going to use this just to kind of get around here. And what we're going to do is we're going to fly into this guy, and we're going to try and kill him as well. Again, we are using the catapult in to really help us build up that momentum And we can also do this as well. Whereas if we disengage... Oh, my bodyguard's thinger. That's okay. That's, you know, better next time. We can disengage from the fight. And we can then jump back in to try another stealth kill. And he died to poison. Stealth kills generally do a higher amount of damage, so it's always good to make use of them. Okay, unusual there, but we actually have this camp with more captains than it typically would be, which is fine. We can use the concussive grenades as well to clear out that, so we can actually get a better shot on him. Okay, so he's not saying anything to stealth. He's just like, nah. Clearly, bro, you're not coming in.
For all the trouble you've caused.
All right, so we're gonna finish up this camp, and then I'm just gonna show you the last spot that we particularly need to pay attention to for RNG. And these are the only ones that I pick up during the run, just because I found them to be in the right spaces for me not to change my routing. We don't have a guard here, so this is a little bit infuriating, because we don't have any assistance really, and this guy clearly just wants to be a pain. Alright, but what we can do, if you are in fights and you do feel like it's taking too long, try and grab these up. Don't die. Alright, so this is the part I mentioned to you about quick time events. You will get 1 or 2 of these as you go along throughout the run, which will just give you that somewhat of a breathing space. But yeah, if you pick these up, it gives us a bit of that ammo that we can look to make use of, and then we can just go ahead and spam these as much as possible. Yes, he's arrow proof, but he's not invulnerable to being smacked around by grenades. There we go. And that is why the crossbow, the grenades, everything like that is almost mandatory to be making use of. You can get ones like these. For a beginner, it's great to get that. In general, it's just good to get that as well. Just getting the additional... it would help to equip it. The additional last chance gives you that little bit of comfort. Okay. So we still have one thing to deal with here, and here he is. Typically, this one only usually has, I think, 3 captains. It is a bit unusual that it's got 4. But there are variables in this game that we can't always tailor for. So what we're going to do is, similar to what we did before, is we're going to hop out, come back in, and we're going to try and kill him off. He will take some damage for that at least, and then we are going to use the tools we got. Hopefully it's not arrow proof, perfect. We can use this just to kind of melt him down. We'll capture this. He should die shortly. Fox and Cox, thank you for the follow. Welcome to Gordo's Games, and welcome to this YouTube video that we're recording. So, just as an intro for you if you're not aware, my name is Gordo. I am a speedrunner, challenge runner, general variety streamer, all sorts of games. I stream most days of the week, and I just finished my run. Nice, nice. Are you speedrunning it, or are you casual playthrough? Just out of curiosity. So this camp here is done now. Just casual first time playing. Oh, nice. How did you find it? So folks, the next mission we've got to go through is infiltration here, but I'm just going to take you to the point which I think will conclude everything you need to know in general. The rest of it is just kind of playing through it. It's going to be fast travel over to here. There's going to be one more place that we check just to see if we can get a legendary. And that would be not. Oh, okay. Don't grab onto the thing. Aaron, why are you not playing ball with me today? My Lord of the Rings Denzel Washington. It was fun. Kept trying to double jump though. Yeah, that is the biggest curve in this one. If you've gone from playing the normal modes, the DLC for Galadriel, or just playing as Talion. So here we go. So we actually got one. These are the corpses I'm talking about here. And oh, okay. This couldn't be any more perfect, folks. Alright, if you are running this as a speedrunner, if you get this weapon, it is near enough GG. So I'm actually, because we've got this, and it's not always one to easily get hold of, I'm actually going to go back and show you a bit more of the run, just so you can see this in effect. Alright, but this gives you 300% stealth attack damage and minus 50 on health. Now that sounds like a gamble, but when people are dying before they even look at you, it is usually okay. So we're going to do that. A bit more stealth damage there. Perfect. Okay, so that's 350 stealth damage right there. So let's just get out of here and get trying to double it. But yeah, as I was saying, so changing from using Talion and Galadriel's ring powers to using Baranor, this is the more earnest version. This is normal human capacity running through this game. This is it feels a lot like Assassin's Creed. It feels like Just Cause kind of movement and that stuff. We're gonna go this way, because what we're gonna do is we're gonna go back to the mission that we're supposed to go through, which was infiltration. I mean, we are generally very lucky to have got Thornhill again. I got it in my run, and honestly, it was ridiculous how much work it did. I think I sat there throughout most of my run just laughing to myself how stupid it was, what it was doing. I had a crit build, set them on fire poison. Then they had a 30% crit rate health. Nice. And that's the thing as well. This compared to the other ones, I think generally can rely more on a build. Like if you get Thornhill, yeah, that's going to carry you through most of it. But you can also get to the point whereas you can use other things like emphasizing poison or emphasizing your bodyguards doing more work, because you can get ones where you half your health but you give your bodyguards and allies more damage. So there's lots of variety in this run how you want to do it. There's not a set way in stone. Like these legendaries that I'm picking up, it is completely random which one you're going to get. So you can get some amazing like Thorn Crit, or you can get some subpar like Sheila's Bless It, which is if you kill somebody with a stealth kill, spiders pop out, which is yay, rah. It's okay. But I don't see those spiders saving the day for me. So this is one of the missions outside of the camps. This is called infiltration. There's always this body here, so you can always take this little item for yourself. Something to keep in mind. So we've got protective command, plus 4 might when an ally takes damage. So that's nice. We'll take that. We will go ahead down here. Again, we want to take the stuff to refill. We want to keep our bolts and our concussive grades loaded up as much as possible. This guy's a free kill, so just go and get him. You always have to get the free kill there. You just stealth him. He can give you a legendary drop. Not always, but he can. He didn't give me all this time, it's fine. But we do that, and what we're supposed to do here is this is somewhat of a stealth mission. We want to get all the intel, and then we're going to go and say hi to the Fort Master. Learn to shoot. That's definitely one criteria in this. If you can't shoot, you may struggle. I struggle. So we're going to go over here again, using the catapult and all that to try and alleviate having to just climb up manually and stuff like that. You're just pinging over and going into the parachute. It's the easiest way and best way to get the movement going. I guess, like I said, you can call that the movement tech for this. Just drop down here for this one.
We'll have to take this fortress before I run out of coin.
Alright, and then we're going to go over here to this one, which is the last one. Okay.
We're almost done.
That's it. You look at that, mate. And then we're going to go up. Sorry, this is the last one, technically. But it's always out of the way, so I always forget. You just go up here, get this one. Now, I'm not 100% certain on this, but if you shoot the the grog tank, which is going to basically explode next to this fort captain. It almost bugs his talking part somewhat. So we'll just go ahead. I'm just going to run with that theme. So if we go ahead, do this,
Talk too much.
shoot that, his arm comes off. Too bad. Gonna have to get over it. But later when we come back to him, when he's in the end part of the game, he shouldn't do his talking speech and all that stuff. Alright, so this is going to be our first instance of using Thornhill. Now we have 350 damage here. Now as long as this person's not vigilant to stealth, it means we should kill him. And that is how it should go majority of the time. There are going to be points where some enemies do have a little bit too much health for what we want. But once we've done that, we get out of here when we're done with that mission. We've infiltrated the base, we've done our spy mission, our espionage, you know, we're Metal Gear Solid style, all that stuff. And we are going back onto the camp side of things. And the reason we're taking all the camps in this run is because you're predominantly weakening the enemy fort to be able to siege at the end. Going on to this one here, we have another of off-the-cuff missions here. So this one is called Circus. Like I said, most of the missions are based around doing the camps. But this one here, we are going to be basically rescuing Circle. The boss that the captain that we fight is always vigilant to stealth, which is annoying because of the item we just got, and it would be amazing just to get taken down in one. It doesn't work, unfortunately. If you go from here, he is vigilant to stealth, and then there's a second phase. You know this game inside out, don't you? I know this run a little bit now. I mean, I haven't done a great deal of runs for it, I'll be honest, but I pick up things relatively well from speedrunning it. So what we want to do here is we want to take out these barrels, because you're going to have to take out the guards after the fight with this one. So get your aim on it, get that one there, shoot that one if you feel like it, and then we want to just go down here with Circa and basically end this guy. Let's just, the theory, they go vigilant to stealth. Yep. Enraged by stealth, that's even worse. We also don't have a bodyguard as well, which is quite annoying just because. But the beauty with these kind of runs as well is they're not too long. So like for even if you was a beginner speedrunner, the run itself isn't overly long, so it is manageable to do. You're looking, let's say about an hour and a half. 2 hours maybe, if like maybe your first run. I mean, you might even get it less than that, but you can get it between an hour and a half is a comfortable time. So this is phase 1 done now. What we're going to do, he's going to disappear off, and we are going to be then given the task to take out, open up these cages to let these beasts out so they do our work for us. And then we want to take out these guards. Oh, we're going to hit by these. It's fine. That's not fine. That's not fine. Alright, once you clear all the guards, refill on arrows obviously as you go along. If you can get a chance to, always refill. We get to here, and our friend's going to turn up with multiple copies of himself. And he's going to go for a little speech. They're all going to finish each other's sentences. It's very endearing, it's very lovable. They just talk a lot of shit, let's be real. Fantastic. Now, what we'll do here, now they are going to be fireproof, but I'm going to use these, because he's always fireproof, just to kind of do some damage to these as I go. Oh, and he got a cheeky hit on us. It's fine. We'll use this. Stand right back up. Gonna charge through. He's gonna do a really annoying thing there, which is fine. And we're just gonna try and shoot him. With enemies that are called savages, you have to stun them before being able to attack. They are quite annoying. Just something to keep in mind. He is one of those types which is called a savage, so effectively, if he didn't keep throwing his axes at me, we would just have to go ahead and do this. Okay, it doesn't want to stun him. There we go, that's a stun. And then we can go ahead, shoot. Try and execute where we can once we've got the might built up. Stun him again. No, he's adapted. Okay, fantastic. So what we can do is we can then shield. Perfect. And if you don't get in, one of your bodyguards or one of your allies will get in for you, and that's the whole thing of it. That's why we try and take as many bodyguards as we can. Mine died earlier. I haven't replaced them. I would highly recommend trying to get yourself one or two if this is your first time trying it, and we go from there. This is the part where you would get to the place where we got Thornhill from, ironically. So we would go on this route to our next camp. But I'm going to end the tutorial part there and just go kind of cover a few bases. So when it comes down to the run itself, I have the splits as per somebody else's run. I hold no credit to those. A lot of the tips and tricks that I've picked up from this, I'm going to shout out to Burnt Bowser, who is the PC world record holder. Took it from his run, and obviously Frankie, who was the previous console world record holder. So I lay no claim to any of these to say that they are all my original ideas. These are bits and pieces that I've pieced together to make the run into my own. It's not completely the same as any of the two. It is my interpretation of it, and that is the beauty of speedrunning. So if you do want to consider trying this run for yourself going forward, there will be a link in the description for my Discord, as well as the Epicenters, which is a new guild / team set up by myself and a few of my fellow content creators, Excel Sancho projects. I'll also put in the description there details as well. But the Epicenters itself is a guild of gaming enthusiasts. Whether you be a challenger, whether you be a speedrunner, whether you just be a general gamer, casual gamer, whether you be one of those people that takes 6 to 12 years to finish one particular game, doesn't matter. If you're a gaming enthusiast and you have a passion for games, the Epicenters is a place where you can jump in, talk about those things. We will generally do collaborations together, like some overall community nights. We will do multiplayer games, Marvel Rivals, Elden Ring Night Rain. There's going to be a variation of things we do as a collective group, and we try and make it as an enjoyable place to be so that we can build up our community together. Alright, so link will be in the description down below. If you have any more questions about this run that you'd like to ask me personally, you can always drop me a message in my Discord or leave a comment in this video to see if there's anything else you want to take from it. But if you did enjoy the video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications so you know when this content goes live for you. And from Gordo's Games, I'm going to say peace out.